Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. As a parent, it's easy to brush off your teen's relationship as just temporary, but our next guest says it is crucial that parents pay attention to who their teen is dating. Here with more, we welcome child safety advocate and pediatrician, Dr. Bronwen Carroll. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
This is a big topic for parents, specifically of teenagers, but it sounds like we can even start talking about healthy friendships when kids are even younger.
Absolutely. Without question, the building blocks for healthy romantic relationships are established with a foundation of healthy friendships. As kids get older and they do start dating or having romantic relationships, those relationships can feel quite emotionally charged for them. So it's much easier to start talking to kids about relationship dynamics when they're younger and those relationships are somewhat less charged. I use the term conversational scaffolding to describe how when a parent talks to a child about a serious topic, or really when anybody talks to anyone about anything, conversational scaffolding is established, which creates structure and support for future conversations. So, by talking to school age kids about the dynamics of healthy relationships in friendship, parents establish conversational scaffolding, which makes it much easier to talk about romantic relationships down the road.
That makes a lot of sense. So maybe one of the foundations that we can set is talking with kids about how their friends actually make them feel.
Absolutely. So, we have all had friends who make us feel supported and encouraged and good about ourselves, which is ideally how your friends should make you feel. But then we've also experienced people who, perhaps for whatever reason that maybe we can't even articulate, make us feel diminished when we're around them and just uncertain and not encouraged. Talking to your kids about how their friends makes them feel normalizes for them paying attention to those feelings and establishing an inner voice, which is aware of how other people are making them feel. That becomes increasingly important down the road as they begin to enter romantic relationships.
Are there certain hallmarks we can help them look for in healthy relationships, like ways that their friends make them feel in a positive way?
Absolutely. Friends should make you feel encouraged. Friends should be happy for you when good things happen or when you have positive accomplishments. I like to think of the flame analogy. We want friends who encourage us to shine brightly rather than trying to snuff us out. Another important thing to look for in friends is you should feel comfortable and able to be yourself around your friend. If you are changing your behavior or walking on eggshells or worrying about what you say or what you wear or how you look, then those are signs that maybe a friendship isn't so healthy. And then the last thing that I think it's great to talk to kids about early is controlling behaviors. So, controlling behaviors are almost always a sign of insecurity in the person who is trying to exhibit control. However, it can seem flattering at first that somebody wants to be your friend so much that they don't want you to have other friends or they don't want you to do other activities. But it's important to establish with kids early that control is, even if it feels flattering, what it really is it's a sign of a problem that needs to be addressed. And as they get older, it's certainly not a sign of love.
Can you point out examples of it, maybe in media that you're consuming as a family?
That is an excellent way to go about it because it's not threatening. So, for example, when you're watching a movie with your kids or you're watching television with your kids, when you see unhealthy relationship dynamics, it's the perfect time to pause the movie or initiate a conversation after and to ask your kids, what did they think? What did they notice? And to use that as a launching pad for a conversation.
So let's say your teen is in a relationship or has a friendship that you have a concern about as a parent. How do you handle that without it turning into a really tough power struggle?
So, we all as parents would have the impulse in that situation to potentially fly off the handle, to say things that maybe sound a little heated. And what I would encourage parents to do is at all costs to avoid the power struggle. Because the problem is, especially with teens, all that does is make the concerning friend or dating partner potentially more appealing, like forbidden fruit. So I would suggest actually the opposite And I would advise leaning into it. And what I mean by that is have your child invite the friend, boyfriend, girlfriend to dinner, to family game night, to a family activity, whatever it is, to spend more time with that person. And there are a few potential benefits to this. The first is maybe the new partner will surprise you. Maybe by spending more time with him or her, you'll get a better sense of what your child likes about that person. But if your instincts and your concerns are borne out in behavior, then spending more time with that person gives you data points. It gives you actual observations to share with your child rather than just to sort of hurl accusations or hunches.
That is a really great place to start. It's not easy, but you've given us some great tips. Thank you so much for spending some time with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Okay, we're going to have more information on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.